Hello, my name is Stacy, and today it's going to be my pleasure to take you on a guided tour of SpendMap, on a little journey we like to call From Damage Control to Spend Control. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the main components of SpendMap and what it can do for your business, and help you decide which modules you might like to start with. Come on, let's have a look. So in a nutshell, SpendMap is software that's used by businesses and other types of organizations to manage and control their spending. We work with buyers, purchasing managers, CFOs, and small business owners, and we help them automate and simplify things like requisitions and approvals, purchase orders, supplier invoice approval, and inventory control. So instead of wasting time with paperwork, emails, spreadsheets, and other manual processes, you and your colleagues can keep track of it all right here in SpendMap. In this high-level system overview, I'm going to show you how you can start managing your purchase orders in SpendMap for free. And then I'll take a few minutes to review a few of the add-on modules in case you want to take your company's spend management to the next level. But before we get started, I'd like to take a minute to introduce you to Bob Young and Susan Wright, two experienced purchasing professionals who are going to share their stories about life before SpendMap to help set the stage for the software demo. We'll see Bob and Susan again in other videos as well.
Well, I've recently been brought in as the new purchasing manager here. We have about 200 employees, and we've been growing pretty consistently for a number of years. Management has realized that we need to get better control of our spending, and so I've been brought in to design some more formalized purchasing processes and establish a purchasing department. And I can see lots of opportunities here for improvement, but to be frank, there's so much to do. I'm not even sure where to start.
I've been with the company for about 10 years, and we've grown pretty quickly in the last 10 years. At current count, we are about 1,000 employees in 7 different locations. So when I first started, the department was pretty small, and it was easy to keep track of everything. But as we got bigger, we noticed that there was a lot more control that we had to put into our process. Things like requisitioning, formal budget, formal approval process. And so as a result, it's gotten to be quite complicated from all of the paperwork that we do and a lot of duplication of effort.
So because we work with such a wide range of organizations, we designed SpendMap to be modular and easily expandable. If you work at a small company and just need to automate your purchase orders, you might want to check out our totally free version, which you can find over at spendmap.com. Our larger customers with more structure around their spending will typically bring on additional modules to automate and simplify more steps of the procurement process, most commonly requisition approval and supplier invoice approval. Leading organizations of all sizes use purchase orders to manage and control their spending, and POs are at the core of the SpendMap system. When it's time to buy products and services, it's super easy to create purchase orders in SpendMap to keep track of your spending and clearly communicate your requirements to your suppliers. The fastest way to create a new purchase order in SpendMap is by copying an existing PO or a PO template to save time. All of the details of the original order will carry forward to the new PO, and the system will assign the next available PO number, or you can enter your PO numbers manually if you prefer. You can make whatever changes are needed, and then you can print a copy of your new PO or email the order to the supplier directly from the system. If you're using the optional requisitioning module, new purchase orders can also be built for you automatically from approved requisitions. We'll talk more about requisitions and approvals in just a couple minutes. When there's nothing to copy and you need to create a purchase order from scratch, just click this button and start filling in the fields, selecting from the various master files to reduce data entry and save time. You can also create new purchase orders directly from the supplier and item sections in the main menu. Here, let's create a new purchase order for this computer. All of the item details will default for you, and again, you can modify any of the fields as needed. And here's my completed purchase order that I can print or email to the supplier. If you need to check up on your orders, you can search on any field, and you can save quick searches for instant access to your most important transactions. There's also over 100 reports that you can print or export to Excel for when you really want to dig into the details of your spending by supplier, by department or project, and so on. When your suppliers deliver their products and services, you can mark your purchase orders as received, which will update various areas of the system automatically, such as the status of the order. If you're using the optional inventory control and asset management modules, receiving will also update inventory levels for you automatically. Finally, the receipt and purchase order information will be at your fingertips when the supplier sends the invoice for payment. So it's super easy to perform a three-way match to know exactly which invoices you should be paying and which you should not. We'll talk more about supplier invoice approval in a little bit. For now, let's circle back to requisitions and approvals. To properly control your spending, your staff must ask for permission before spending money rather than asking for forgiveness after the fact. SpendMap makes it super easy for staff to create and circulate requisitions for approval, as well as simplifying and accelerating the approval process itself. So for example, instead of processing an actual purchase order in SpendMap, a buyer might create a purchase requisition instead, which looks exactly like a purchase order, only it needs to be approved by someone before actually being sent to the supplier. For end-user requisitioning or a large user community, SpendMap's super easy shopping cart-style requisitions let your staff shop for the products and services that they need, just like when shopping at home, only with much more control. New requisitions are sent to the right people for approval every time, using flexible business rules such as the dollar amount, the department, item category, and so on. Approvers will receive an automatic email notification, and then they can approve or reject the requisition right from the body of the email message, or approvers can log into SpendMap to review their requisitions either on their computers, tablets, or phones. Once a requisition is fully approved, SpendMap can send the official purchase order directly to the supplier, or it can optionally be sent to a buyer for a final review. And for those using the optional inventory control module, approved requisitions for stock will be routed to one or more stockrooms or warehouses to be filled from inventory. As our most popular optional module, we have a bunch of video tutorials on requisitions and approvals if you'd like to learn more. Once products and services have been purchased and received, SpendMap makes it super easy to approve your supplier's invoices for payment. All of the approved purchase order and receipt information will be at your fingertips, so you can do a three-way match in SpendMap within seconds and say goodbye to all those phone calls and emails trying to figure out who bought what. This is a great example of what I meant before when I was talking about damage control versus spend control. Waiting for a supplier's invoice to show up before beginning the approval process is obviously damage control because it's too late by then. The money's already been spent, the supplier's probably already delivered the products and services, and who knows, by that time there might be no money left in the budget. By contrast, proactive spend management is when you get approval to buy something before the money is spent. That way, when the invoice shows up, all you need to do is make sure that the invoice matches the pre-approved purchase order. Of course, there may be occasions where there isn't a perfect match, such as a price discrepancy or maybe a freight charge that wasn't on the original order. But don't worry, SpendMap can send these invoice discrepancies for fast and easy online approval, just like new requisitions. In addition to simplifying the invoice approval process, there's also way less data entry compared to manually keying invoices directly in your accounts payable system, since most of the information comes from the existing purchase order and receipts that are already in SpendMap. And once invoices have been approved for payment in SpendMap, they can be exported to your accounts payable system for processing through the built-in AP interface, so there's no duplicate data entry in accounts payable. SpendMap comes with pre-built integrations for the most popular accounting and ERP systems, like QuickBooks and many others. So that's SpendMap in a nutshell. I hope this helped point you in the right direction. Before you actually go and implement a module though, take a look at the more detailed video tutorials on our YouTube channel, or maybe reach out to our client services team for some one-on-one training. And please don't forget to like and share our videos to help spread the word about SpendMap. Thanks again everybody, and so long for now.